disruptive.
America to like fuck.
Weird thing to happen. Hello, one and all. Welcome to this edition of Kitz Corner. It's been a fantastic day so far. So I thought I'd tell you the tale of Howard Stern, the once beloved, rebellious radio host who is now, I think, officially hit rock bottom. This is the moment where he has finally collapsed on his persona. He became so big, so popular, so influential, got, friendly with celebrities, then got in bed with other, celebrity friends and whatnot. And because he became so popular and because he became such a visionary in the radio sphere and then got popular with Sirius XM, now he's just turned himself into an establishment stooge. And we have seen this for the past few years. Howard Stern kind of going downhill when it came to COVID, when it came to propagandizing people, when it came to the elections. He brought on Hillary Clinton to do propaganda with her and kiss up to the rest of the establishment. And once more, he's about to show an embarrassment of himself, as Michael Tracy points out. So he says, I've listened to probably thousands of hours of Howard Stern. Don't ask. And this is probably the most embarrassing thing I've heard from him. Gushes how lucky we are to have President Biden as father of our country with an organized administration and for standing up to Putin. Howard Stern, the once rebellious radio show host, they used to have clips of, college girls going onto his broadcast and flashing him. That used to be what he used to do. He used to, bring on party girls and talk about, sex tips and orgies and all this crazy, insane stuff you would never hear on traditional radio stations. That was what made him so popular. Now he just sounds like a more open NPR. It's literally just an unfiltered 60 minutes at this point. When you're interviewing the president, Howard Stern should not be interviewing Biden. He should be mocking Biden. He should be using his comedy and his persona to mock him. That's what you do when you're a jester. That's what comedy is. You're mocking the higher-ups. But watch him literally having a gushy, feel-good moment of President Biden. It's absolutely insanely hilarious.
The reason I'm so excited to talk to you was because I wanted to understand the tragedy in your life and how you dealt with it. And
By the way, speaking on behalf of tragedy, let me back up to Howard Stern's outfit. Because again, if you look back at the original Howard Stern, the Howard Stern that made him famous, you'd be disgusted by the fact that he's wearing a suit and tie. Like, you go back to clips of the original Howard Stern that made him so popular, and he's got, like, the full-on hair. He's got, like, the leather jacket, the ripped-up T-shirt. He literally looked like he came out of a biker bar. He's like, yeah, I'm ready to party. Let's go on the air. Now he's wearing a suit and tie, interviewing the president like he's a cable news journalist. It's like a Twilight Zone. Like Howard Stern became everything that he was never supposed to be. He never was supposed to be this, but now he's become this because he became so successful, so fast, so famously fast, and he got in bed with rich celebrities and their friends and their counterparts and other corporations that he just became a part of the establishment. He's a stooge for the establishment, for the higher up that he's supposed to be mocking.
tragedy in your life and how you dealt with it. And you're the kind of leader I love because we're lucky to have you in the Oval Office and serving as the father of the country. Because if you're a good father to your family, which you are, I know you'd be a good father to the country. And I want to thank you for providing a calming influence.
The father of our country, because you're such a good father to a crack addict. He's got like that Bill Cosby wisdom, right? You know. sakes. Oh, Joe Biden, such a great father when he turns the other cheek when his son Hunter owns an illegal firearm and smokes up joints and crack with 3 prostitutes paid by his father. What a great father-son story that is. We should sell that to Lifetime. That'd be such a great movie. Oh my God. That's so friggin' hilarious. He's such a great dad and such a great grandfather, right? Because, you know, when your granddaughter, I think it was, or the granddaughter who wrote in her diary that Joe Biden used to step in the shower with her and help her bathe. That's such a warming, heartfelt, you know, family moment. Not at all creepy. Jeez. The father of our country. Who, by the way, under his jurisdiction with the 1994 crime bill, if Hunter Biden was actually served under his jurisdiction, Hunter Biden would be the one arrested in friggin' jail right now. Hunter Biden would not be a free man. He would not get business deals in Ukraine, which is one of the reasons we're in this mess to begin with.
An organized administration post-COVID, getting that vaccine out. I remember what the world was like at that point, getting NATO, getting us to feel comfortable, standing up to Putin, the incredible large growth in the jobs.
Even his face. Even Joe Biden's resting face. He doesn't even believe what Howard Stern is saying. Like, you have the most organized administration, like, with COVID, and you got us to NATO, and you, like, did, like, 3 wars right now. Like, you're such a great father. Organized administration. I guess, in a way, you know, he's using the term organized in the same way of organized crime. But you really think about it, I mean, the whole United States and the whole governmental system, basically Joe Biden is the entertainer. Joe Biden is the distraction. He's like the clown on stage. It's like, hey, look at me. Look at me. I'm doing all the dancing. While the rest of the world is run by a mafia. It's literally what it feels like. Because the world is run by mafia men and women. I don't want to gender specifically. Mafia people, I guess. Whether it be big pharmaceuticals, the WEF, the WHO, Bill Gates, you know, so many nefarious ghouls that have captured control of every aspect of our life. So, yeah, it does seem like organized crime as an organized administration, if you're trying to use that context. But as far as organized, like, we're actually on track of something, well, let's just say his administration is about on track as that train was in East Palestine. That's symbolic of Joe Biden running this country, the father of the country.
Unemployment rate down. I'll give you your greatest hits. The lowest uninsured rate in history. 4 out of 5 Americans are covered for less than $10 a month.
No,
knocking
they're
off
not.
a few ISIS leaders, cutting the emissions in half. I mean, you've always been an environmentalist. You know, the reason
oh my God. I can't even hold myself together. He goes into his greatest hits, and the greatest hits are obvious lies. Very, very obvious lies. Oh, well, unemployment is low. Well, that's because they didn't actually track unemployment correctly. When you actually look at the real numbers, when you look at the underemployment as much as unemployment, it's worse. It's absolutely worse. And this guy is making it even worse for people. Not to mention that Joe Biden, Mr. Green Thumb, he said he is an environmentalist his whole life. Joe Biden, who's opening up the Arctic to drilling more. Mr. Green Thumbs, wants to go and cause more wars to extract oil from other countries. He's begging Latin America to steal their oil. Mr. Green Thumbs. Oh my God. This is from Howard Stern. Howard Stern. I'd expect this from Rachel Maddow, Keith Olbermann, Chris Hayes, Anderson Cooper, any of those schmucks. Even Andy Cohen or what the other radio hosts that are on SiriusXM. Even Megyn Kelly. I would expect something like this from Howard Stern. Howard Stern. This is the moment. This is the exact moment where the nail is finally shut on the coffin. Here lies Howard Stern, what he used to be, just buried underneath 60 pounds of crap, and now he's just the establishment's puppy kissing up to Joe Biden. Like, honest to God. Honest to God. Why don't you just take his pants off and blow him at this point? Holy crap. And he used to be a rebel. That's the most hilarious part. As Jimmy Dore once said, I think it was Jimmy Dore that once said on Tucker Carlson, it's terrifying that someone that's dressed like a hippie could sound like a Fed. And that's what Howard Stern is. Howard Stern is the guy who looks like a biker, like some sort of, tough ass, but really is just a softy federal agent. Like, he's a stooge. He's an absolute stooge. And this is not the first time that Howard Stern has made an embarrassment of himself, because let's bring up his greatest hits while we're talking about that. You remember when Meatloaf, famous singer Meatloaf, died, and it was skeptical on how he died, and there was no immediate medical, they didn't confirm his actual death right away. So Howard Stern came on to that and demanded the family step up their game to promote the vaccine, to promote big pharmaceutical propaganda before they even did a medical analysis to see and confirm how he died. Before they even finished the autopsy, Howard Stern demanded the family of Meatloaf to push for big pharmaceutical propaganda. Because that's how much of a rebel he is. He is such a rebel that he's going to wag the finger at the family of a dying rock star and tell them to suck it up for big pharmaceuticals. Or how about this one? This is one of my favorite greatest hits of his, just recently. Stern rips anti-vaxxers. I might have to run just to clean up their mess. Really showing his narcissistic personality right there. That's an ego-fragile piece of shit. That's a bastard right there. I might have to run to clean up your mess. Because all you people are living life is interfering with my life. So I'm going to have to, I'm tired and I don't want, God, I got to run. I got to run the country now. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. All you had to do was get this prick that's, safe and effective. All you had to do was get this prick and possibly get other side effects and symptomatic, disorders that come out of it. You just had to go with it. Come on. Didn't he say once he missed playing chess? Like, that was the excuse. Oh my God, I can't go outside and play chess in the air, and I can't have the wind, go underneath my scalp. What a goddamn pussy. Honest to God. It's just sad. And someone did this montage, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. I think this is from Milk Bar. They did this montage of Howard Stern exposing himself of being what a hypocritical stooge this guy is. He's two-faced. He's two-faced to kiss up to whatever the establishment is pointing towards. So if the establishment is against, say, Donald Trump, who Donald Trump was featured many times on the Howard Stern show, he'd be against Donald Trump. If they're talking about, we got to go against this country, Howard Stern be against this country. He doesn't know why. He'll never look into it. He'll never question it. But I'm just going to do it for, kickbacks and reins and whenever that blank check forwards to me and clears out. So here's Howard Stern exposing his full stooge when it came to COVID.
We're going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say it's mandatory to get vaccinated. Fuck them. Fuck their freedom. I want my freedom to live. I want to get out of the house already.
I got COVID-19. Finally. It's not fair, I know. Your hero wasn't supposed to get it. But holy shit, did I get it.
I've made it clear I can't stand seeing people walking around without a mask.
It's impossible that I got COVID. I haven't been anywhere. I did go to my mother's, but I wore a mask the entire time. It's insane.
Don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. But, man, I went through hell. I first of all, must...
It just fascinates me that these people, and not just him, but the COVIDiots, let's just say, it just fascinates me that after all we've been through, that there's still people out there that are, still in the same boat of like, well, I did everything and somehow I still got this virus that I was able to pass like a regular cold. But oh my God, I did everything and I still don't understand. And considering from Howard Stern's perspective, I mean, how many producers, how many people, Robin, other co-hosts that could have looked up some information regarding COVID? He didn't have any of this. Didn't have any information, because that's apparently reading. And we weren't allowed to read during COVID. We weren't allowed to do your own research, which is called reading. You can't do that anymore. You can't look up things. You just got to know. And this guy didn't know. So he just went with whatever the news is telling him, and he still got COVID. But he's still shaming people for not getting it. It shows just an absolute stooge this guy is.
Thank a couple of people. I must thank always the scientists who developed the COVID vaccine, the people who invented the COVID vaccine. I am so flabbergasted. I turned on the TV last night to watch the Golden Globe Awards a little bit, and there was a commercial begging people to get vaccinated for COVID. They won't get the new the new variant is a motherfucker. But we still have people in this country who are anti-vaccine. They're out of their minds.
Even people who took the other vaccines are like vaccine exhausted.
Yeah. It takes 2 seconds to get vaccinated, which is, thank God I did. Now, this was so bad, this COVID. I've really never been this sick.
Really?
Yeah, I was just so ill. What a wallop this thing is.
What a wallop. Wow. That is really dating yourself there, Howard. God. It reminds me of used to be a weatherman that in my hometown here that would appear on TV. He's no longer alive, but used to be a famous weatherman here. And when he goes on TV and talks about like an incoming rainstorm or a thunderstorm, he'd say, it's a gollywhopper. You got a gollywhopper of rain and wind coming in from the southeast. Like that's what I felt hearing that. Like, it's just, it's wow. It really shows how old and fragile you are. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, folks, because there's a lot more. We could go all day of how many times Howard Stern just made a complete embarrassment of himself. Going from the guy who used to make fart jokes and talk about, orgies and crazy, insane stories that people got sucked into the masses listening to him, to now all of a sudden just being a complete wussy coward for corporate establishment. Wow. It's just his career just completely fell apart. And I don't even know anyone who still listens to this guy. I don't know anyone in my immediate group that would actually pay money to get satellite radio to bother to listen to this guy anymore. Clearly, what exactly is the point at this point? What makes Howard Stern's show more edgy than if I turned on, public radio? If I just turn on the regular news, like what makes him more edgy? What makes him such a great persona away from traditional media? Because now he is traditional media. He's done this for so long and became so popular so fast and got so much incentive from the rest of the establishment that he is a tool of the establishment. Now you get all these politicians that show up on air and they have stories about how complicated the Trump campaign and oh my God, and Hillary Clinton and the Mueller report and Russia, and you stood up the virus. Like, holy crap. This guy should just literally merge with MSNBC at this point. Like, why not just get bought out by Comcast at this point? Why even bother be on satellite radio when you can literally just apply yourself to cable outlets and just be that guy? Because he's on his way. He's definitely on his way.